Hello everyone, today we're diving into Google Cloud policy constraints and organization policies in a way that's easy to understand. Let's get started. Google Cloud is a bit like a complex puzzle. Today we're looking at how it manages, who can access what, and how things are set up. Our goal is to understand three main players: IAM, organization policies, and constraints. Identity and access management. IAM. It controls who has access to what resource, ensuring only authorized users or systems can interact with specific service. IAM involves user authentication, authorization, and follows the principles of least privilege, granting minimal access necessary. It's crucial for maintaining a secure and well-regulated cloud environment, helping prevent unauthorized access and ensuring data integrity. Awesome. Imagine the internet as a magical land. Now, sometimes we need a guard to decide who can enter this magical land. That guard is like IAM. It decides who can do what in the magical internet world. And now, think of IAM as a bouncer at a party. The bouncer decides who gets into the cool party and who has to stay outside. Similarly, IAM decides who gets into the cool cloud resource and who doesn't. IAM, or Identity and Access Management, is a security framework in cloud computing. Now, let's talk about organization policies. Imagine we are building a castle in the magical land. Organization policies are like the rules for building the castle. They say what the castle can and cannot have, like no dragons allowed into the castle. Organization policies in Google Cloud are like rules that help control how things are set up in a structured way. They define how resources are configured and controlled in a hierarchy, from the overall organization down to specific parts. In simpler terms, think of it as a set of guidelines for organizing and managing different aspects within a cloud system. An academic discussion will link these policies to established frameworks that guide how rules are discussed and implemented. Now let's talk about organization policy service and role of the policy administrator. Think of the organization policy service as a wise wizard who helps us make rules for our castle. The wizard ensures that everything organized, controlled, and follows the castle building rules. What about policy administrator role? What is it? The person who makes sure the party and the castle are both awesome. The policy administrator is like the party planner who decides who comes to the party and makes sure the castle rules are followed. The organization policy service in Google Cloud is like the chief of rule enforcer. Its job is to make sure everyone follows the same rules across the entire organization. It's like having a captain ensuring everyone on the ship is doing things the right way. The responsibility of this service is to set up and make sure these rules are in place, keeping everything organized and aligned with what the organization wants to achieve. It's the go-to service for maintaining order and consistency in how things are done. And now let's talk about constraints in policy configuration. Constraints are like special rules for our castle. For example, imagine we have a rule that says every knight must wear a helmet. That's a constraint to keep our knights safe. In Google Cloud organization policies, constraints are like specific rules that dictate how things should be set up. For example, encryption constraints ensure that sensitive data must always be encrypted, adding an extra layer of security. Multi-factor authentication constraints mandate using two or more verification methods for enhanced access security. Essentially, constraints are the nitty-gritty guidelines for policies, ensuring that configurations align with top-notch security and operational standards. Now think of where we want to put our castle. Do we want it in the whole magical land or just in a small corner? Applying rules at the root is like saying, let's make sure everyone in the land follows our castle rules. Example of constraints. Skipping default network creation is like saying, we don't want a default path for everyone. Let's build our own roads in the magical land. It's like having a special road just for us. Before we finish, tell me one thing you learned today. Whether you are young, who is 6 years old boy or girl, or who is 90 years old man or woman, sharing is caring. Please type in the chat. Thank you. Thank you all for joining our magical adventure today. If you have more questions later, just send a message in comments below. Bye.